Okay, welcome to the Thursday night call. My name is Jana Garcia, and I'm a Diamond Ambassador with Plexus. I've got Shannon McCumber, who is an Emerald Ambassador with Plexus, and I have a guest speaker that we are so excited about. We have Jessica Higdon, who is a renowned network marketing guru that we are so excited to have on, and she is going to share with us so many tips that we are getting our notebooks ready. I have mine right here. I hope everyone on the call has a notebook and a pen so that you guys can write notes. I have to admit that I have been binge watching Jessica's videos on YouTube.
Me too, guilty.
Hopefully not too far back. The first videos were definitely interesting. So
well, these were pretty recent, I think, but they were really great, and I took lots of notes already. So Jessica, you want to say hi to our team?
yeah, hey guys, how are you? Nice to, I guess, internet meet you.
Right?
We are so honored that you came on. Thank you so much for taking the time to be on our call. Everybody's so excited, and we've been posting about you all week long, and we're doing a contest for people who are on live. We're going to give away one of your books and want to raise CDs, and everybody's really excited about that.
Well, we're just honored to be a part of this, and hopefully, we can create some really cool stories together. So I'm excited, and thanks so much for having me here.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so the first thing we want to talk about, and Shannon and I have talked today, and we're going to ask you some questions at different times, but some of the things that I was watching about you is that you're really good at networking on Facebook. And so for our team, that's like right up our alley, because most of us built most of our business on Facebook. But we kind of lack the professional network marketing skills that a lot of people come into this with. In Plexus, it's kind of organic to where we usually join a friend or a family because we love the product so much. And then we see the comp plan and how great it is and how easy it is for people to buy and join. And, we build relationships, and we're really great at that. But sometimes we get stuck because we run out of our warm market. And so a lot of the stuff that I was reading about you or watching your stuff today, you had such great things to say about Facebook and social media in general. So I guess we can start there, and you can tell us what you do to get people on Facebook.
Yeah, well, first off, let me just say that I love the Plexus products, and I actually take them every day. I do, and there's a lot of different, network marketing companies that have amazing, incredible products that I use, but Plexus is one that I take every single day. So you guys have a phenomenal product, and I absolutely wouldn't shy away from that. You talked about how a lot of what your team does, a lot of what the company does is they bring people into the business kind of organically through friends and family or however, just through the product. And then eventually they start loving the business and get involved with that and realize that they can make money with it or whatever. Well, industry wide, not just with Plexus, but with network marketing as a whole, product sales are extremely important and can actually drive a thriving business that can keep your team just constantly growing, and also have it so where you really don't have much fallout. If you have a lot of product lovers, that is extremely important, and you just love them wherever they're at, right? Whether they just love using the product every day and want to make a lot of money, or they want to go hard with the business and make millions of dollars. Doesn't really matter. Just love them where they're at and help those that are ready to kind of take that next step. So with that being said, when it comes to using social media, it is so awesome to expand the reach of the people that you can get this product in front of. And everybody, not everybody, but almost everybody is on Facebook or some type of social media platform. And so it's there, it's out there, it's not going away. People are on it every single day. So you not taking advantage of that would be a huge detriment to you. And if you don't take advantage of it, well, your competition just might. And at this point in the game, you can't shield people from, other things out there. You can't shield people from other things going on. And so if you can just be on the up and up and learn it properly and go out there and really create relationships versus just, oh, here's my product, here's my business, please join me, and you actually go out there and create relationships, people will respect that. It's so rare nowadays for people to actually be doing that. And they'll want to join you versus somebody else. So just to bring it home and combine everything I said together for some action steps, when it comes to promoting a product, I mentioned you don't really want to do it flat out, right? You don't want to go out there and say, hey, here's my product and you all should buy it because it's awesome, right? People are going to think you're salesy, and that just doesn't work. What you want to do is you want to provide some type of value to people to make them want to see your stuff, to make them want to build a relationship with you. And you start there. So a perfect example, and Jana, we talked about this earlier, is a guy who, his name's David Avocado Wolf. He's got like a following of 9 million people. And
yeah.
what he talks about, you know him, Shannon?
Yep.
Yeah, so what he talks about is just random health tips, right? And I happen to know that, Plexus is all about gut health, right? And it does so much for your gut and your blood sugar. It's pretty awesome. I'm doing this for you guys because I happen to know a lot about your product, actually.
And we love it.
So, that's just one avenue that you can take, is helping people with, the source of the problem, and just talking about that, not mentioning the company name, not mentioning the product, just providing some information for the ideal person that you would want to be a product user or even a business builder. So it's one avenue that you can take. You definitely don't have to talk about those things, but just to kind of give you a perspective is think about, okay, who do I want in my business? Where do they hang out? What kind of magazines do they like? What kind of books do they like? What kind of celebrities do they follow? And incorporating that in not only what you're posting and the videos you're doing and things like that, but also in who you're reaching out to. So you have to have a couple of things. You have to have a 1-2 punch. You have to do a daily method of operation where you are reaching out to people each and every day, but you're also providing some type of value or some type of curiosity creator in your posts that are making people see more and more of you, want to see more of you, and actually talk to you about your business. So you can, when I came online, when I came onto social media, I had nothing, no following, barely any friends on there. I mean, it's just pretty much my family and my actual friends, which nowadays that would be weird, right? It's kind of normal, but so I had nobody. And the way I built that up was reaching out to people every single day that I felt were part of my personal target market, and creating, like I said, that content and those valuable posts that got more and more people to start reaching out to me as well. And so if you combine that with a 1-2 punch and a date just every single day, you can't help but grow your organization.
Awesome. So today when I was watching one of your calls that you did with another lady, you were talking about how to build your local market on Facebook. And I found the things that you were saying were so amazing. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I mean, the cool thing about social media is you kind of have a foot in the door at all times, because if you meet someone, in a coffee shop or whatever, and you're trying to invite them to a presentation or talk to them about your product, that's fantastic, and it definitely works very well. But you don't know, how many kids that person has. You don't know exactly where they live. You don't know anything about them other than what they just told you. Whereas on social media, you can know everything about a person, including where they live, what school they went to, all that kind of stuff. So creepy as it may seem, it's actually a great marketing tool and a great way to build your business, right? For the right type of people. So you can actually go onto social media, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, and I've done both, and look for geographically people in your area. And the great thing about that is when they're in your area, you already have a little bit of rapport built in there. So you can just immediately start talking to someone about a local restaurant, or you see on their profile that they went somewhere that you've been or whatever. And then you reach out to them and say, hey, I was scrolling through and I saw your profile and that you've been to this place. I don't think we've ever connected, but oh my gosh, I go there all the time. And then just start a conversation right away. So the great thing about social media is it lets you in the door. You can make that connection, build that rapport. When it's local, you can have that rapport almost instantly if you just point out something that's familiar to both of you, maybe some mutual friends or whatever. And then from there, you definitely want to either get them on the phone or get them in an in-person type of coffee meeting or whatever it is that you do. Then you can plug them into your company system and let it work its magic, right? Just let the business do what it does. So that's a great way that I found, and a lot of my team members found when we were building a company, to go out there and actually find local people versus just having to talk to each and every person you meet in a store or whatever without knowing anything about them.
Right. I was sorry, Shannon. I was just going to ask, how do you find those people? How do you find your local people? Shannon, that might have been what you were going to ask too.
Yeah, so there's a couple of different ways you can do it. I mean, you can just, one easy way is just to search for your city fan page and just find all those people on there. Another way is to go to your friends list, and then there's a sidebar on the side where you can click your hometown, or you can click, there's different options that you can narrow down your search to, like an advanced search option basically. And you'll see that you can do a zip code, you can do an actual city, everything on that sidebar. So you just go to your profile and click on your friends, and then find friends, and you'll see on the side there that it'll pull up, everybody in your area and so forth. On LinkedIn, you can actually go to the top search bar, and instead of just searching for that city or a group or what have you, what I personally do or did is go to the advanced search at the top. And there you can put in a zip code, you can put in a profession, you can put in an exact location, you can put in a profile language. So where that really comes in handy is when you're looking to build internationally as well, because you can target a certain area, but say, okay, I want their profile to be in English. So that was really cool. So there's a few different ways you can do it. Those are just a couple.
Good. Go ahead, Shannon.
Well, I was just going to ask, when you're talking about how you reach out to people and you don't know them, and, we have a lot of people who, maybe they're a little bit backward and they're like, just even trying to build that relationship with me. And I was even sharing with Jana today that I struggle with that. And I mean, I've been in the business for a while, and still I really have to push myself out of that, that box, because, like at my kids' school, I was telling Jen, I said, we have these moms and they're in the PTA. And I said, these ladies are serious. I said, but they would be great in network marketing because they have a love for business. They're very organized. They like to have fun, create parties. I said, that's like a network marketing in a school is the PTA. And I said, but they so intimidate me to walk up, and they're wearing their Lululemon and Louis Vuitton bags. And I'm like, that's really stepping out of the box for me. And I'm starting to do that and really push myself outside of that. But, so how do you do that? I mean, how?
So I love that you brought that up, because it's not just you, okay? It's everyone that has this fear. And the thing about it is your desire has to be bigger than your fears themselves, because social media, let's be honest, 30, 40 years ago, they didn't have it. And they had to build everything, belly to belly, fax and paper applications, right? It's tough. It's so much easier today. And social media, it really is, this isn't an easy business, but it's the simple way.
Yeah.
Right? And so reaching out to someone on social media is much simpler, much easier, and much more comfortable than reaching out to someone face to face. And so, if you reach out to someone face to face, you do have, that point where they see, okay, you're a real person, and you have more of that than you do on social media. So you are going to have to go through more numbers, but it should be way more comfortable to you. And one thing that helped me with this is it's not just what you say, right? Because you could pretty much say anything as long as it's not a hardcore pitch. And if you hit your numbers, we all know that, you'll build a business.
Right.
But the thing about it is going into the prospecting tactic, whatever that is, whether it's talking to your PTA moms or doing it on social media, and having the mantra that it's going to be awesome versus having the mantra every time we pick up the phone or we send that message or we, talk to that person that, oh, they're going to think I'm weird. They're going to hate it. They're going to think this is a scam. All the stupid things that go through our head. We have these negative thoughts right before we go talk to someone. And as soon as I changed my mantra, it's really a personal mantra from, oh, they're going to hate it. They're not going to join. They're going to think it's stupid, to they're going to love it. They're going to offer me some business. They're going to think this is awesome. They are the perfect person for this, and they're going to be so attracted to what we're doing that they're going to absolutely just sign on the spot, right? Yeah. As soon as I changed my thought process to that, it's incredible how my prospects changed. And of course, not each and every one of them joined, but I had a much higher closing percentage just because I changed the way that I was talking to them. Right. And so, these PTA moms, and whether you're reaching out to them on social media or face to face, you can act as if you're them, right? You mirror what they like. You mirror who they are, right? you mirror that person. And all of a sudden they love you.
Right?
And it's a simple sales tactic, but you're becoming who you want to attract. And that's super important in everything that you do, whether it's social media or because you can tell in messaging too, in your tone and things like that.
Right. So it sounds to me like a lot of it is mindset. What are you going to put your mind to do it? I mean, like you said, your desire has to be greater than your fear. And I think for me, I have definitely been going that way because I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of being where I'm at, and I want to be higher. I want to build a bigger team. I want to do this. I want to do that. And I'm like, okay, then I've got to push through my own fears. And so just for the sake of my own team and other teams that are on the call, when I went to the last PTA meeting, I volunteered to be the newsletter creator.
Fun.
And so I have no time to do it, but let me tell you, I'm that driven to connect with the kids. And so I wrote newsletter mom on all my Plexus business cards and handed them all out to all the PTA moms at the meeting.
And you don't know, Shannon, they may be intimidated by you.
Right, maybe so.
Probably are.
Businesswoman, she is like the newsletter queen, and I could never write like this. So they may be intimidated by you, and you've just got to own that, and they may just be flattered that you asked them to even look at what you do or think that they even thought that they were,
Well, I'm inspired. I'm going to do it. I must go to some coffee meets.
Awesome.
So, Jessica, let's go back to the LinkedIn and the Facebook thing where you're trying to meet local people and you're trying to build your local team. I know like a huge portion of our team, they would love that. They would love to build with Facebook. A lot of our friends and family have joined and they're all over, like my team is all over the country. I do have a bigger size team here where I moved to in Texas, but a lot of people, they want that. They want that local team because they can, I mean, like you were saying on your thing today, you can build from that so much better when you start your local team. So when you're looking on LinkedIn or Facebook for people, what do you do at that point? You're not friends with them on Facebook. So are you just messaging them without being friends with them? And are they going to see that if they're not friends with you?
Yeah, so I reach out and ask them if we could be friends. And, you know, I connect with them on some common level, right? So I'm looking at their profile. I'm seeing if there's something that I can connect with them with. So if they, you know, like I said, went to the same school or, you know, been to a restaurant I've been to or something like that, because when you do connect locally, it's instant rapport. Mm-hmm. And then I'm asking them if we can be Facebook friends. Almost all, if they answer your message, will friend you. And then from there, I'm just having a conversation with them, pointing out that, hey, by the way, I never do this, right? Or I rarely do this, and point out something that stood out to you about them. So something specific, like, you know so many people that I do and you're so well networked, I'd love to just share an idea with you. Mm-hmm. And, you know, you seem really sharp and I never reach out to people, but would you be willing to meet for coffee? And just seeing who's willing to meet and who shows some interest. And first of all, you're reaching out to people that you feel would be a good fit. You're not reaching out to everyone and anyone. And that's a big mistake I see people make, is they just reach out to everyone. Mm-hmm. If you take some time in the beginning to actually pre-qualify the people that you reach out to, you'll save yourself a lot of time in the long run. So you're looking for the right types of people. You're connecting with them, seeing if you have something in common, saying, you know, making them feel special, and then asking for the setup, asking to meet, and going from there. So it's really quite simple, and you just have to have, the one thing about local building is you have to have the guts, and you really have to do this if you're going to build a big team anyway, right? But you have to have the guts to either get them on the phone or meet with them face to face. Whether you have a local leader or you're doing it by yourself, just let the system handle it from there. Let, you know, the Plexus tools handle it from there. And the more people that you meet with, you're going to have some really, really high closing ratios there, especially with local. So social media is a great way to kind of create that connection. So if I were in Plexus and I were looking to build a local team, I would go to, you know, I would look for maybe, so I'm in Southwest Florida, right? So I would look for, you know, Southwest Florida health. You know, I would search that, Southwest Florida health, some kind of health groups or people that are interested in getting fit. Some type of maybe a local celebrity, like a TV person that, or somebody that's written a book. I know we have a lot of local authors here that have written different books on being healthy and diet and things like that. I'd be looking at that. I would go to bigger types of fan pages and groups, like, for example, Jillian Michaels or whatever. And I would be looking for local people in those groups and see, you know, what kind of people I can find there. On LinkedIn, I would be looking for just people that have the keyword health, or people that have the keyword gluten-free, or just thinking outside the box. You're looking for health conscious people, because Plexus isn't a business that's going to attract someone that really doesn't want to work on themselves.
Right.
That doesn't mean that that's all they're about. You know, they could be an attorney, they could be a lawyer, they could be, and I'm guessing that most of your company, not all, I'm positive, but most of your company is women. I mean, most of network marketing is women. So, and it's pink. So I would also be looking for women mainly, and just, you know, go for the low hanging fruit. Someone that, you know, has been, a lot of times what I see is people are trying to convince, you know, people that are maybe unhealthy or overweight or what have you, that they need this product. They are that way for a reason. And if they haven't worked on themselves to this point, you trying to convince them probably isn't going to do that. So you are looking for the people that already are working on themselves. That's the low-hanging fruit. Not trying to convince your friend that's eaten, McDonald's since she was 5 that, hey, now you have to change your entire lifestyle, and this is why, because these products are awesome. She probably will live until she's 150 because those people always do, right? But
the preservatives.
Yeah, exactly. It's the preservatives. But you're looking for the low-hanging fruit. So just make it easy on yourself. Look at the top leadership. Look at Shannon. Look at Jana. What types of qualities do they have? Where would they hang out? And go find those people.
At PTA. I gotta get more bold. That's all there is to it, y'all.
That's all for sure.
You were talking about, we've been talking about Facebook, and you've mentioned LinkedIn. Do you feel like Facebook is where it's at, or do you feel like LinkedIn definitely has advantage, and Instagram, for instance? I mean, what do you feel about, to me, they kind of each have their own, that they each bring something to the table that's different. So what's your take on the different social medias and reaching out to different people?
So I think it just depends on you, and it depends on who your target market is. I mean, LinkedIn, yeah, it's easy to target people, but if you're looking for stay-at-home moms, you're probably not going to go to LinkedIn, right? It's just, it doesn't really make sense. Facebook, if you're going to master one, which I highly recommend, mastering one and then work, or 2 at most, and then working on the others as you go. You don't need to do all of them by any means.
Right.
Like Snapchat, to me, is just so confusing.
That's just fun.
It's so fun. It is so fun, but I don't know. I'm just not into it. So I don't do it much, and you don't have to. You don't have to be on everything. Facebook is 100%. If you're going to master one, obviously Facebook. There's just and people get caught up in the technology of it, and I get feedback a lot like, oh, well, Jess, they're blocking my messages. They're not letting me reach out to this many people and that many people. Well, first of all, it gets easier as you grow your friends list, and as you grow the people and as you start creating the content and the posts, and you grow the people that you're talking to, it gets easier. You have more mutual friends, and more people start contacting you and wanting to reach out to you. And before you know it, you don't really have to look for people to friend you. But it does get easier. And also, just be creative. Never let those little things stop you. A lot of times people have their emails in their profiles. You can reply to the comment and say, hey, by the way, I sent you a message. It might have gone into your other folder. And just instead of just trying to look at the short term, look at the long term and actually build a relationship with these people, which means you're commenting on their stuff. They're noticing you come up, which is going to make them 10 times more likely to reach out to you and to respond to you and actually have a conversation with you. So, you got to think about it long term. And Facebook, in my opinion, is the way to go. I mean, Instagram is fantastic too. Facebook now owns Instagram, so they're coming up with more and more ways for you to communicate and do stuff like lives and messaging. Any way that you can communicate with another human being, go for it. Just don't try and master all of them.
Yeah, I don't mean to monopolize, Jana, but I'm
used to it.
I was going to go back to when you were talking about the low-hanging fruit, because that was a huge aha moment for me just when you were saying that, because I've had that mindset of, because reaching people who need it, that's been my thought process, is finding people who need it, because I was that person that I needed it. I was the ho-ho eater, and Little Debbie was my best friend. I mean, that's just the truth. She was my girl, Little Debbie. But and so I've always thought that, kind of that's the people I was going for. But over the last 4 years and being with Plexus, my life has done a 360-degree change, losing weight, getting into sports and cycling. And so my reach is a different group of people now. But that's also the group I'm most intimidated by. And one, because it's new to me, but Plexus isn't new to me. And I know what it does. I have belief in the products. I know what it can do for athletes for sure. And so, that for me, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm missing that whole market of all my cyclist friends. And I'm like, duh.
That's if you just tap into one person like that has that type of influence,
Yeah.
Cyclists and, they cycle with, I see them on the roads here and it's kind of annoying to be honest, but I give them crazy props for being out there on the,
right.
The major highway cycling, and there's like 100 of them, right? So
right. Yeah.
You just get in with one person like that, and that's the thing is you never know. That's the great thing about what we do is you just never know who that next person is going to be. So it's really important to tap into that relationship. And
so when you get into that, you say you get into this, you find a group of people, right? It's like what you were saying, you qualify and you disqualify real quick. So I would assume you would go in and you would find maybe the most influential person in that group and then kind of build a relationship with that person or several people at the same time, seeing who's the talkative ones, who's going around checking on everybody, what they're into. Would you say that's how you get in and you qualify when you're with a group like that?
If it's obvious, then absolutely. Those two would be who I would reach out to first. Sometimes that's a little harder to tell. And,
right.
So the qualities that I really look for in someone is, it's pretty simple, but you'll be amazed if you just qualify by this. You'll save yourself so much time and you'll get so much better prospects. Are they positive? Do they have negative stuff about the election on their profile and things like that? I personally don't want to waste my time with that type of person.
Right.
Do they seem to be professional? Do they have similar types of interests to me? Because who I want to work with, because somebody could be a totally awesome person and a perfect fit for your team, but for me, I may not jive with them. They're
right.
Like, I'm not a super, for example, I'm not a super analytical person. Like, numbers scare me.
That's me.
Detail scares me.
I'm the numbers person.
and they can be great business builders for sure. But for me, having a conversation directly with that person, I'm probably not going to win. I'm not going to be the one recruiting you because, 9 times out of 10, I won't. Sometimes it could happen, but 9 times out of 10, I wouldn't. And so, but, the people that I bring on board, some people are very good with that type of personality and they bring great leaders on that have that personality. So it just kind of, you look for who is right for you, you're not right for everyone and everyone is not right for you. And so I go by those criteria, what type of profession do they have? Because if there's a certain profession that keeps coming up in your company, that would be smart to do. Just look for common factors. I'm a tennis player, so I would look for other tennis players because I can speak their lingo. So just things like that.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So once you get an appointment with somebody and you're going to meet them, you had a really good strategic outline of what you do when you meet with somebody, say for coffee, that you don't know well.
Yeah. So first, I basically share with them my vision and I share with them why I'm doing what I'm doing. So that's step one is, share with them my story. And this is not where you tell them how awesome the product is. This is not where you tell them, you don't really say anything about the product or about the business. You let the tools do the work, or if you are going to do a presentation, this is not where you do it. So, I say something along the lines of, hey, the reason I'm doing this is because personally, if I was building a team now, I'd say the reason I'm doing this is because I have a 16-month-old, and I want to make sure that I'm able to be there to raise her and see her grow up and go to all of her, ballet classes and whatever the case may be, right? So you share, you lay out your vision, and you say where you're going to go. And personally for me, so you solidify that you're all in. Right? Because you're not seeking approval from the other person, and that's very important for them to understand. And you can do this on the phone too. It doesn't just have to be face to face. So you solidify that you're all in and say, hey, listen, I'm 100% in with what I'm about to share with you. I'm, going to the top with this thing, and I'd love to take you with me. However, if this is not a fit for you, that's totally okay. So you let them know that I'm going to do this with or without you. I'd love to bring you along with me on this journey, but if you decide that this is not a fit, that's totally okay. It's definitely not for everyone. So step 2 is you let them know, you give them an out, right? And you say, hey, it's okay, but you're going to do it with or without them. Then you share with them the information. And then at the end, you just ask them, hey, pretty exciting, huh? Or is this something that you could see yourself doing? And from there, that's where you can, figure out how to answer their questions, whether it's bring in an upline, whether it's, refer them to another tool, or whether it's actually take their application and get them in the business. If it's small questions, if it's short bursts of questions that are actually asking about how to get into the business versus out of the business, and the difference between that is if they're asking, well, if I bring on 5 people within this week, how much money am I going to make? Like, those are good questions. If they're saying, well, how do I know this isn't a scam? Then that's where you say, listen, I don't know if this is a fit for you or not. The fact that you're saying it's a scam, maybe I did some miscommunication in the information. However, I just don't know if this is going to work out. So those are people trying to get out of the business versus in. So it's just a way of qualifying. So step 1, you share that you're all in, and you point out your vision. Step 2 is you give them an out, right? And you say, I'm going to do this with or without you. Love to do it with you, in so many words. And then you share the opportunity, and then you ask them if this is something that they see themselves doing.
I love how simple that is, because like Shannon said today, I think a lot of times we complicate things and we make things like way harder than they really have to be. But that's just such a simple way, whether it's over the phone or even a private message. You could say a lot of that stuff even in a private message if you're talking back and forth to somebody.
Absolutely. And that's the thing is, I think people put too much pressure on themselves. They have to close the sale, and they have to be super professional and perfect. And nobody is buying that. Nobody wants to buy from someone that's perfect professional sales and not a real person. Right. Sharing with people what you love about what you're doing. Don't oversell them, but just share with them why you're doing what you're doing. And a lot of times people respond to that way more than you trying to tell them how awesome, the different gut health proprietary blend is. I mean, I don't know what it's called, but,
And, a lot of, in network marketing, a lot of people refer to cold messaging. And, I was telling Jana today when we were talking about this, I said, when you're doing it that way and you're presenting it that way, that is so not cold messaging. That is, hey, I am a professional. I have a product that I know can benefit you and also provide you with financial freedom at the same time. If that's something you are interested in, then let's do this, because I can show you how to do that. And to me, that's not cold messaging. That's me telling you, hey, I'm showing you a way to do this. If you want it, great. Let's go for it. Let's link arms and run. But if not, hey, I'm not offended. That's okay. You go do your thing, but I'm going to see myself at the top, whether you come or not. So,
and you're making sure they're ready for that step, right?
Yeah, exactly.
First message you send, but absolutely, if you're at the point where they've expressed interest and they're ready to hear, what you have to share, then that's where you go into this process. This isn't something that you do out of the gate,
Right.
For somebody that you just met, just to clarify, because I'm sure some people are thinking, oh, I'm just going to message someone and say, hey, listen, I'm doing this with or without you. Doing what?
Right, exactly. Right. Qualify first. Qualify.
Right.
Well, I loved how you said, you ask them, like when you're in the conversation of, hey, I saw that you do this too, that you like this restaurant or whatever, and then you lead in with, what do you do for work? And then, of course, they're going to ask you back most of the time,
right.
What do you do for work? And then that's when you can share.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's all about asking the right questions, face to face or on social media. It doesn't really change. People are people. So you're just leading them where you want them to go. The big mistake, I see people make two major mistakes when it comes to building rapport and messaging on social media. One is they go for the pitch too soon.
Mm-hmm.
And the second is they go for the pitch too late. So they spend, 6 months in Messageville building rapport and they never get to the point.
Right.
You have to ask for the sale, right? You have to, and a great way to do that, although a lot of people don't want to hear this, a great way to do that is to get them on the phone, right? So whenever somebody starts showing interest, but they have some questions and they're starting to, dig deeper into what I do, my first reaction is to try and get them on the phone. Because having the conversation on the phone with tonality and everything, it's so much better than just trying to answer somebody's a million questions through Messenger and then you feel almost like you're pitching them again versus just having a conversation on the phone. So plus, you're going to have a higher closing percentage that way because people just want to know you're real and want to see, how you talk and everything. So try and get them on the phone as much as you possibly can. And that'll help you as well versus, just asking questions. That's important. But once you have an opening, I would definitely do some ways, Skype, phone, even audio messenger through Facebook, whatever you can do to
Yes, I love that.
Yeah, totally.
I love that. I've been telling my team that over and over the last 60 days, telling them, hey, stop messaging with your fingers and use that button so that people can hear your voice, so they can see and hear your heart in this, your passion for this. And, and then it's not just that you're trying to sell them something, that, hey, I really believe in this and my heart in this is because I want to do this with you. And I want to see you have that healthy, happy life that I'm experiencing. I want you to have that too. And hearing someone say that to you is so much different than seeing what somebody write it out, because we just glaze over and we just scroll through it because Facebook has trained us to do that, to just scroll, but when you have to stop and listen to something, it creates that connection, that rapport with somebody immediately instead of just reading and glazing.
Totally. Yep. The audio messenger is a great feature. And one of my friends who's a top recruiter, that's all he does. That's all he does is audio messenger. And he just same format that we talked about, but just saying it versus typing it out. So test it out, see what's best for you. Whenever you get stuck on something like that, like, oh, do I do audio? Do I type it out? Do I reply to a comment? Should I message them directly? Should I friend request them first? There's a million questions you could have like that going through the process. My suggestion is just do it. Just test it out. If you make a mistake, it's okay. Find what works for you and just go through it. Keep moving forward and you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out and it'll work great if you stay consistent and you just do it anyway.
And the more you do it, the more comfortable you get doing it. And the more confidence you have when you're speaking to people. I mean, that's just, I know, because I've had people say that in coaching calls. Well, I'm afraid to do that because I don't know what might come out of my mouth. And I'm like, well, just, if you have to, write down some bullet points that just specifically you want to say, and then just go over it, as a guideline, but don't 10 minutes of talk. Just Quick.
I remember my first conference call. It was like I had to talk for 10 minutes, and I was so nervous.
Right?
Call, and I wrote out like everything that I was going to say, literally like this huge script that I was going to say there. And I got on there, and they ended up asking me like one question, and then and so you just never know. And the more you do it, the better you get, like you said. And you just can't have that. We talked about that mantra. Just don't have that conversation.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Build you up, because it's just, there's a million obstacles you could possibly have if you don't start. But if you start, you'll get past them, and you'll see how easy and simple it really is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that.
Because nobody's good at first. Everybody's got to be bad at it first. And that's what I was, when I was watching you on your other call, you were talking about how it takes practice, and you get better as you go, and as well as you're educating yourself the whole time by watching people like you and Ray and all the different people in the industry. If you're educating yourself, your posture is going to be better. People always ask me, well, how do you know all the answers to all this stuff when you're doing these calls? Well, it's because I'm feeding myself all the time with information, and I wouldn't be able to do this if I didn't. So I'm practicing all the time to get better.
That's why I asked you if you saw my earlier videos from the ones I first did.
Well, and I'm sure there's probably some doozies out there of Jana and I when we first started. So go there.
Of all of us. Let's move forward.
But I'm sure we thought we were fabulous.
At least you did.
I definitely knew I wasn't fabulous. No, I didn't feel fabulous.
I just front very well. That's all. I just front very well.
That's perfect.
I wanted to ask you a question, Jessica. When you were talking about not posting like names of our company and being all salesy, and we always teach our teams, don't be salesy, don't be a commercial. Is there any kind of examples you can give us of statuses that you could put up that will show your posture, make people want to follow you without talking about your business specifically?
Yeah, so just a couple come to mind. I was talking about like ways that you could post about different health tips. That's, if you're doing a video, for example, you could do a video about something that, caught your eye, or something that you learned today. And, don't eat popcorn, because popcorn is going to tear up your gut. I mean, I don't know, I'm just making this up, but popcorn is going to tear up your gut. And these are the 4 reasons why. And hey, by the way, if you are looking, like you just mentioned it at the very end, hey, by the way, if you're looking for a way to help this problem, or you've had, some issues with this in the past, please feel free to message me. I've actually helped a lot of people in this regard, or, the people that I work with have helped a lot of people in this regard. And I check each and every message personally. It's a great thing to say at the end of any video, because then people are like, oh, well, if she has to say that, then she must be a big deal, right? Even though you only get 1 message a day, right? But you check it personally.
But hey, I got it.
So just something along the lines, creating curiosity if you're going to do a video or something like that. If you're posting, a great way to create curiosity is through recognition. And that doesn't mean that you have to say, hey, Shannon just became an emerald in Plexus. Congratulations. You can do those type of things every once in a while, and that's
right.
Good. Sharing a story. So, you've always heard that facts tell, stories sell. They really do. So if you share the story of, hey, I'm so excited for my friend today. Meet Shannon. She is a, 25-year-old school teacher, and she has finally been able to quit her job, and she won a car today, and I'm so excited for her. And just leave it at that.
Yeah.
You're going to be like, what just happened? Right? Or here's Shannon, she lost 50 pounds. I'm so excited for her. Feel free to reach out to her and ask her how she did it. I'm sure she'd be glad to share her secret. things like that just don't even mention anything about the company, the product, but they get people asking, okay, what are they doing? And at first, you may not see that momentum, right? But people are watching, I promise you. So if you're consistent with it, I promise you that when you have that one that's like that status update or that thing that you post or that video that gets people thinking, you'll just all of a sudden see an influx of things come in. I actually shared this recently in a training, and I was sharing my old videos, which is also what made me think of it. And I did my first one like in the bathroom with the toilet in the background. Like, why would you do that? And at first I wasn't getting that many views and that much traction on them. And then all of a sudden, a couple weeks later, I did this video and it was on a different topic and I got thousands of views. And what I realized was it wasn't that people weren't watching me, it's that I just wasn't giving the audience I had what they really wanted. And so you just got to keep it up, keep testing what's working. It's not going to always be a home run, but at the end of the day, people are watching you. So you just never know when it's going to happen.
That's so good, because you do have to, even if you think there's no momentum, sometimes you have to drive the car to gain the momentum. So you every day you have to be consistency, which is why consistency is important, because people are like, well, nobody liked this post today, so I'm not going to post tomorrow. So I'm not going to share about it today. But because of that lack of posting, then you've just told people where your passion is, where your drive is. But I mean, if you're doing it every day and you're sharing that and you're presenting that, then people catch on to that and they're like, I like where she's taking this. When I see her post, I feel good. And that's how I do when I post. I want people to say, I want what she has. I want to feel like that. I want to be healthy. I want to be happy. And that's the brand I try to create. So, I mean, I love that. Drive it.
Absolutely.
Jana, you have another question?
Sure. Do we have time for a few questions from our chat?
Sure. Yeah, no problem.
Okay. If you guys have a question, type it. Has anybody asked anything? Or I haven't put it up.
Yeah, there was.
Should I do this, or are you guys going to ask it to me?
I'll ask you. It says. I
don't know what I'm doing.
I'll scroll through and I'll ask one. We have somebody that said, I've had a couple interested lately, but I lose them when they ask about price. How do I get them past the dollar signs so they can see the amazingness that I have to offer?
What a great question. So,
surprise.
Right. So if they're asking about price, it could be a couple of things. It could be in the setup. Of the way that you set them up, because really the selling begins from the moment that you enter in the conversation, right? So it could be the setup, but of course everybody's going to want to know how much it costs. So if they're asking about price, a couple of different ways I would handle that is, one, if you're doing it through Messenger, I would try and get them on the phone. Say, hey, seems like you have some questions, let's chat. When can you chat? Right? So that would be my first go-to. Second, and if they're asking about price, that means they're semi-interested, right? Second would be, well, there's a couple of different options. It really depends on what you're looking for. Can you tell me a little bit about what your goals are? Versus saying, well, it's this.
Right.
And then third, and this is one my husband uses, and it's not really my personality, but I could see how it works, is he would say, well, to be honest with you, it may not cost you anything because you may not be a fit. So that's one that he would say. So if that's your type of personality, then go for it, because it worked like a charm for him. For me, that's just not really how I did it, but that's why we're all different.
But I can see how people would be like, well, how dare you say it's not a fit for me? I'm gonna try it anyways, just to show you that maybe it is a fit for me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I would react. I'd be like, who are you to tell me it's not a fit? Let me show you.
Totally. So it just, depending on how they're asking, if they're asking, what's this going to cost me? If people would ask me like that, then I would say, well, you realize that this is a business and there is an investment, right? So this isn't just, where you're going to get it for free. This is an actual. So there's a few different ways you can handle that. But as always, my go-to would be, let's chat. Let's chat.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And a great thing we always tell people is, to say something like, well, I felt that way too before. And now I'm so glad I didn't go with that. I'm so glad that I actually looked into what I could do with this because, oh my goodness, my whole entire family's lifestyle has changed. If I would have let the cost of this product hold me back, look, I wouldn't be healthy. I wouldn't have financial freedom. And you can do all that over the phone, like you said. And that tone will come across as passion.
I'm so glad you said do it on the phone because something like that through Messenger may come across as salesy. But that's why you want to get them on the phone because if you still feel found in the right way on the phone, it's very powerful. Yeah. And you can do it through Messenger too. I have before. It's just you have to do it in a right way so it's just not, it doesn't sound salesy because without the tone, sometimes it can come across that way. So, yeah.
And there are people who refuse to get on the phone.
Yeah, that's true. You did.
Jana tried for weeks to get on the phone with me, and I refused. I was like, no, if you got information, just send it to me. Well, I'm agreeing. I don't need her to tell me anything. Just send me it, and if I like it, then I'll join you.
And that's why you're an emerald, right? Those type of people, if they're not milking you for information, right? Because when the time came, I'm sure you guys got on the phone, right?
No. See, we never talked on the phone. I said, just send me the information.
You didn't talk on the phone?
No.
After you joined, you did.
Oh, after I joined, but not right after. I mean, I was still kind of.
Yeah, but Shannon joined just for the products. She was not interested at all in the business side of it. She only wanted to get her products at a discount. And she
don't ask me to sell because I'm not doing it.
Yeah, and so if somebody says I would just like to see the information, just like what you said, and send it to them. Don't lollygag around because some people are very direct and they want it, and that's okay. So I would, like Jana did, I would absolutely try and get on the phone. But if not, as long as they're not milking you for the information constantly and just wasting your time, which that's not what happened. So some people are just like, hey, if I like it, I'll do it. And if I don't, and then if you try and push them to give them more information then they're just going to hate that.
Right.
And I wanted to say too that a while ago when I said, financial freedom and all that, wherever you are in this business is where you need to work it. So if you're getting your products for free, if you're getting enough money to pay for your products and that's all you're making right now, use that. Say, you know what, I felt that way too. I couldn't afford the products, but now I have 3 customers and I'm getting my products paid for. Or I'm making $500 a month now, or whatever that is. You don't have to be where I am to use that. You can say, I was once there. I felt like I couldn't afford the products, but I'm so glad I didn't let that hold me back.
Right.
Or a great one that, I used when I had nothing was, but I'm working with some of the top leaders and they're teaching me exactly what they've done.
That's good.
That's good. Yeah, that's really good. I love it.
It gives people that third-party validation real quick. I'm working with the top leaders in the company and I'm learning it and going. So that's good. I like that.
That gives your team validation too, and really which team you join.
Totally.
So I love that. Do you see any other questions, Shannon, that we need her to answer?
Well, there's a whole bunch, but
okay.
It's already been an hour, so I don't want to.
Well, I tell you what, if you look up Jessica Higdon on YouTube, she has several hour-long sessions on there that are amazing. And I already took 3 pages of notes today while I was listening to it. So you guys definitely look her up. She also has a book. What's the name of your book, Jessica?
It's called The Networking Revolution.
Okay, and that's a certain amount of women in your town got together that were all doing different network marketing companies. Is that, or was it just you and another girl?
Yeah, so actually my friend And she's an amazing business coach and is actually now, successful in network marketing. And she came to me with this awesome concept that just wasn't done. That was like, hey, we know so many powerful women in this industry that all have different stories from all different companies. Let's, write a book, and at the end, let's feature their stories, right? So we have women from all different companies that share how they did it. And what's really cool is we talk about it from not just a business builder standpoint, but from a product standpoint as well. So it's something that, if you have a prospect that's skeptical or a prospect that you're trying to get into the business, it's a quick read, but you can hand it to them, and it talks about what we do. It kind of goes through all the myths of what people think and why that's wrong. And it talks about, hey, if you're just wanting to be a product user, these are the different options for you. Or if you actually want to be a business builder, these are some different options as well. So we do give good training in there, but it also is good for prospects as well.
And then you also have a whole series of DVD training. Is it a DVD course, or is it an online thing that you go for your coaching for network marketing on social media?
Yeah, it's a digital course. So it's, as soon as you get access to it, it's right there for you. It's all videos, and it's on how I built. It's really how I got to my first $10,000 month. So it's showing you the steps of kind of how to go from 0 to 10,000, and then on from there. So just very simple mainly Facebook tactics on how to build your business and how to do it without being super techy, which is, I think, important.
Yeah, I can imagine it's probably full of really great information, because even the YouTube videos that I watched today had so many more things than we even had time to ask you tonight. So I'm sure that is filled with even more great stuff. So I love it. I'm so excited that you came on tonight. I know everybody learned a ton, and we took tons of notes and all that. I will tell everybody that's on the call to make sure that you go back to the Rockin' Group when we post the link about what you learned on the call, and share what you learned so that you can be in the drawing to win Jessica's book or one of Ray's CDs. And also be sure that you come up next week. We are going to be doing our monthly Slurp and See, where we do our online opportunity meeting, where you guys can bring people on and invite people to the call. It's a 30-minute session where we just do a really quick overview of the products, the triplex mainly, and then we just go over the business plan really quick. It's very short, it's very sweet, but it's a great way to get your prospects or your friends to know a little bit more about our team and more about the company. So it's a great thing to invite. That's next Thursday, and we'll be giving you some more information on that in the group. But thank you so much, Jessica.
I just want to add something really quick.
Okay.
Here, but I just want to say that it's really, really rare to have leadership like you guys have in your company and in the industry as a whole, because there's so few, well, I shouldn't say so few. It's becoming more and more popular, right? But there's a select number of leaders that will actually do the trainings for their team, do the opportunity webinars and calls for their team, and also bring in outside training for the team that's thinking outside the box to make you guys better and to build you as big as you can possibly go. And so that's just a different type of thinking and a different level of thinking. And it's really, really rare and just invaluable in leadership. And we've worked with a lot of leaders. So, we've seen everything. So I just have to say that it's awesome what you guys are doing. And I believe that because of it, you'll see just massive long-term success. So.
Yes.
That's what we want. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Of course. So
appreciate that. Yeah, thank you so much for being on. Tell Ray we said hi.
I will.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for coming on.